So we all know about the German car company Porsche and a lot of different variants of the GT3, the 911 and so on and so forth. But today we have got this interesting little thing. I believe this is the Porsche GT3 RS4.0. In fact, we can see on the door right there it has RS 4.0 on it, and at the back we should see RS 4.0. So today we're going to go and check this thing out. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and give you a few stats to see while we take a look at the inside. It has 493 horsepower, 339 foot-pounds of torque, it weighs just under 3,000 pounds, and it has a displacement of 4.0, so a 4-litre engine. And that engine does sound quite nice. In fact, here, have a listen. Doesn't that sound good? Right, we'll do the usual mandatory drive stock, and then we'll go and see what we can do to this thing. In fact, there it is above the car. This thing is the 2012 Porsche 911 GT3 RS4. Now, let's go take a look at what we can do to this thing. We're going to head straight over to conversion to start with, and we already have the options of an engine swap, drivetrain swaps, and aspiration. So we're going to see, what do we have? It's the 3.8 litre flat 6. Okay. We're probably going to come back to that. But first, I've got an idea. Let's take this thing all the way up to the top of S1 and go and take it for a little bit of a race. Now, like every car, it has its standard set of Forza Aero. For example, here at the front, we've got what is essentially an elongated dinner plate. And at the back, we have got this not so nice looking Forza wing. I prefer that one so much better. And let's see, can we go and put semi-slicks on it, or does it start on those? Let's see. Oh. Okay then. Right. Scratch that plan, this thing starts out on semi-slick tyres. Alright, we'll just go and make them a little wider at the front, and very wide at the back, 345s. Now let's see. One thing I do want to do just quickly is check the exhaust. Well, not too bad. We'll go ahead and slap an exhaust onto that thing, and we'll go ahead do the race intake, and we'll go with some big old twin turbos. That takes us up to nearly 800 horsepower. Oh, I'm not going to run that much. We'll come back to that because I've got a little bit of an idea. Now let's see. Oh, we can't do race suspension. Cool. We can go ahead and make this thing 268 pounds lighter, so we're definitely going to do that. I've been invited to join a Horizon session, but in the midst of a video, so well, maybe next time. But we're going to go ahead and probably leave it at that. But before we do, one thing I nearly forgot: gearbox. Kind of important. Now, before we go and do anything, we're going to take a look at the paint for this thing. We've got two advanced paint groups. So paint group number 1 is main car. Oh wait, that colours the rims too. Okay then. Paint group number 2 is... okay, they're the wing mirrors. Oh, and a little bit at the front, okay. But we do have some standard paints. We've got this one and a rather nice black. Now, I don't know about you, but I actually really do kind of like how that looks. But I think for now... Actually, no. Yeah, we're going to go with this one. Let's see, can we change the tyres or the rims? Oh, we can. Okay. Right, we are going to roll with that for a bit. And now, let's go racing. Okay, so here we are at the Playa Azul circuit with our GT3 4. RS4, that is, not GT3. You know what? Let's just, okay, there we go. We've got 3 laps to try and see just how good this thing is. If we can get past... Oh, squeeze through there, excuse me. Thank you very much. We'll take that position. Never mind. So the one thing that surprises me is for rear-wheel drive, just how stable this thing is. It's actually kind of impressive. Let's see, we'll just go and floor it through here. Yeah, no issues. Beautiful. Right, there is fourth. Can we get on the inside of fourth? We can. Sort of, kind of. Can we? Oh, we've got a lot of issues, but we've managed to get past third. In fact, now we've done that well, we are third. I still keep clonking that wall. Oh well. Coming to the end of lap number 1, we are in second. No, we're not. Yes, we are. Game, make your mind up. Thank you very much. We will take that first. Now we've just got to try and keep it for the rest of the race. This could get interesting. Okay, and we are now on to lap number 3. There's a bit of a gap between us and the driver tires, but not too much. As you can see, second is right back there. So we shall be intrigued to see what goes on with this thing. So if I just stamp on the brakes here, because that's the one upgrade I kind of forgot to put into this thing. Oops. But yeah, at the moment it doesn't seem to be doing too bad for itself. I think the fact that it starts out on semi-slicks does also help it quite a lot, because it gives it a lot of grip, which is honestly what you want with what is it, nearly, I don't know, 900 horsepower in S1? Okay, so I realised towards the end of that clip I said about it having a lot of grip while it was also starting to drift. Ignore that. Anyway, that is us across the line in a very, very respectable first. Very nice indeed. Right, next, we've got to go take this thing drag racing. So, just out of curiosity, I went and threw on each of the engine upgrades to the stock engine, and this thing ended up at over 1000 horsepower. Oh god, this is going to get interesting. So I wanted to figure something out. As well as that other engine having over 1000 brake horsepower, what does the flat 6 have when it comes to being fully upgraded? Let's see, shall we? We'll go and throw on every single upgrade and see if we can beat that 1000 horsepower. And surprisingly, we can. Just about. 1110 brake horsepower. This is going to make for a very, very interesting drag build indeed. So we're going to go ahead and slap on some drag tyres. That takes it back down into S1 as well, which is fantastic for us. And then I'm going to go and apply a few more little changes to this thing, and we should be good to go. So here we are now with 1110 brake horsepower in our little RS4. Now let's go ahead and see what this thing can do. Can we launch control it? Yes, we can actually. That's kind of surprising. So, without any further ado, apart from that car over there, which I don't know what it's doing, but let's go and see in 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, this thing's really good out to start. Wow. I feel like it could be quicker, but then again, I'm not the greatest drag car tuner of all time. But 194 through the camera is not bad at all. Now, I'm going to go ahead and probably throw this thing back onto its semi-slicks, and we're going to go and find out what its top speed is with that 1100 brake horsepower. Wait a second, I was just about to go and upgrade this thing, but I just wanted to, yeah, I wanted to make a note of that. This thing just kind of, ever so slightly, just pops a couple wheels off the ground. Well then, now we go and make this thing fit for the road. So here we are now at the edge of the motorway with our 1100 brake horsepower Porsche GT3 RS4.0. Now I want to go and find out what top speed this thing can do. Although I've got to just hope we don't have any AI traffic in the way first. Great, words failed me there, but it's a regular occurrence. If you know this channel, you know that happens. But yeah. This is going to be interesting because this thing is already at over 230 miles an hour with yet another gear to go. And when we get to that little downhill stretch, things could get very interesting indeed. Speaking of the downhill section, here it is now, so we're going to go ahead and switch up into 7 and see if we can get any quicker. 265, 266, we get 267. Nope, but it was worth a shot. But 266 miles an hour out of this thing. That is manic. It's actually really, really good. Now, one more test remains. It can drive, it can race well, it can do drag races somewhat okay. It can also reach a decent top speed. but can it drift? Now, very quickly, before we can get into whether it can drift or not, this is how you get the car. You get it from the winter dry season of Series 4. So here we are now at our favourite little drift area, so let's go ahead and send this thing sideways into it. Now, it's got quite a lot to live up to, considering most recently we did have a van go around here that got 40,000 points in its first attempt. That thing is still mad. But we do now have a Porsche, so let's go see what this thing can do. And let's see. I believe the first one was something like 35,000, so let's go and see if we can beat that. I think if this thing had a little less grip, then it might be possible. I'm just gonna, you know, just change a couple settings. Give me a second. Okay, so here we go for attempt technically number 3, but oh well. What is this thing gonna pull out of the bag for us now? 33,000 points, and just because I'm feeling generous, we're gonna give this thing one more attempt. Let's see, it's new tyre setup and PSI, tuning, everything. You know, I'm just gonna be quiet. Yeah. I guess about 33k is the best we're gonna get out of this thing. Or not, apparently I can be mistaken too. 35,000 points. Not too bad at all. This thing actually looks really, really nice. So yeah, it can drive, it can race, it can somewhat drift, and it can drag race too. That is actually pretty cool. But yeah, that is it for this video on the GT3 911 RS 4.0. It's a Porsche with an incredibly long name and a lot of help behind it. But yeah, should you pick this thing up? Absolutely. It is honestly a lot of fun, and it is incredibly stable too. Even when this thing is stock, it is very, very stable, which is honestly quite rare these days. But yeah, thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave a like if you have, and also feel free to go ahead and subscribe. It is free, and if you get bored of me, you can always unsubscribe later, but please stay around. We'd love to have you around for a bit. And feel free to go ahead and post a comment. I love to read them, and I try to reply to as many as I possibly can. So yeah, thank you very, very much for watching, and until the next one, goodbye. Tech out. So I wonder if I can make this thing wheelie as well.